Joseph, a young man blessed with prophetic dreams, was deeply loved by his father Jacob. Jacob showed his favoritism through a beautiful, multicolored coat he gifted to Joseph. This act, however, ignited envy in Joseph's brothers. They resented their father's clear preference and the dreams Joseph shared, dreams that hinted at his future dominance over them. Consumed by jealousy, they plotted against him. One day, finding Joseph alone tending sheep, the brothers seized their chance. They stripped him of his cherished coat, a symbol of his father's love, and threw him into a dry well. Hope seemed lost as they contemplated his fate. Ultimately, they decided to sell him to passing traders, Midianites headed for Egypt. Joseph, betrayed by his own flesh and blood, was taken far from home, facing an uncertain future in a foreign land. The brothers, consumed by guilt and seeking to hide their deed, dipped Joseph's coat in goat's blood. They presented it to their father, a fabricated tale of a tragic accident ready on their lips. Jacob, heartbroken and deceived, mourned the loss of his beloved son. Sold into slavery in Egypt, Joseph found himself in the house of Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh. Despite his circumstances, Joseph remained faithful to God, his character shining through in his diligent work. He found favor in Potiphar's eyes and was entrusted with the management of his entire household. Yet misfortune seemed to follow him. Potiphar's wife, captivated by Joseph's handsome features, attempted to seduce him. Joseph, a man of integrity, refused her advances, remaining steadfast in his commitment to God and his master. Scorned and vengeful, Potiphar's wife falsely accused Joseph of assault. His pleas of innocence fell on deaf ears. He was thrown into prison, another victim of betrayal and injustice. Even in the darkness of prison, Joseph's spirit remained unbroken. His faith in God never wavered. He earned the trust of the warden, who placed him in charge of other prisoners. It was during this time that Joseph encountered two of Pharaoh's officials, a cupbearer and a baker, both troubled by vivid dreams. Joseph, guided by God's Spirit, interpreted their dreams, accurately predicting their fates. 2 years passed. Pharaoh was troubled by a series of perplexing dreams no one in his court could interpret. The cupbearer, remembering Joseph, spoke of his gift. Summoned from prison, Joseph stood before Pharaoh and listened intently as the ruler recounted his dreams: 7 healthy cows devoured by 7 sickly ones, 7 plump ears of grain scorched by 7 withered ones. Dreams that spoke of abundance followed by severe famine. Joseph, empowered by God, revealed the meaning: 7 years of prosperity followed by 7 years of devastating famine. He advised Pharaoh to appoint wise officials to oversee the storage of grain during the years of plenty, ensuring Egypt's survival through the years of hardship. Pharaoh, recognizing Joseph's wisdom and insight, was deeply impressed. He saw in Joseph a man touched by God. Joseph, elevated to the position of second in command, was entrusted with the welfare of all Egypt. He managed the land with wisdom and foresight, stockpiling grain during the years of abundance. When famine struck, Egypt was prepared. People from surrounding nations, desperate for food, flocked to Egypt's storehouses. Among them were Joseph's brothers, unaware that the powerful ruler they stood before was their brother, the one they had betrayed so many years ago. The reunion was emotionally charged. Joseph recognized his brothers instantly, but they did not recognize him. He tested their hearts, eventually revealing his identity. The brothers, overwhelmed with guilt and fear, expected punishment. Instead, Joseph, with tears in his eyes, offered forgiveness. "Do not be distressed, and do not be angry with yourselves for selling me here, because it was to save lives that God sent me ahead of you," he assured them. Joseph, reunited with his father and brothers, saw God's hand orchestrating his life's journey. The betrayal, the years of slavery and imprisonment, all were part of a greater plan. He understood that God had used those trials to shape him, to elevate him to a position of power and ultimately to save lives, including the lives of those who had wronged him. "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives," he declared. Joseph's story is a testament to God's unwavering faithfulness. It reminds us that even in our darkest hours, God is at work. He can transform our pain into purpose, our trials into triumphs. Like Joseph, we can choose to trust God's plan, knowing that He can bring beauty from ashes and turn what was meant for evil into an instrument of good.